In my last video, I flew nearly 5,000 blocks and I found a private island. And today, I'm building a tunnel to it. We're going to put packed ice in the tunnel so we can drive a boat on it and go very, very fast. Now, it would be faster if we had blue ice, but unfortunately, blue ice is a bit harder to come by. If you've been watching my recent videos, you probably know by now that ice tunnels are practically the primary way of traveling now. Since there was a ton of digging to do, I deployed a bit of help. Fast forward about 500 blocks into the tunnel and we hit lava, because why wouldn't we? Well, it turns out this wasn't just an ordinary lava lake, this was a lava ocean. And yes, this is where the Warden spawns. So we were now left to figure out how to drain part of this lava ocean without spawning the Warden. Well, I had a brilliant idea to use dispensers and pistons to push sand out into the lava. So I put a row of pistons with dispensers on top of it, hoppers on top of the dispensers, and chests on top of the hoppers. Then I put it on a redstone clock. And this is how you build one if you were wondering. Anyways, I ran the redstone for the top and then offset it using a redstone torch on a block, like so. Now the only thing left to do was flip the switch, and this happened. Instead of placing the sand, it was dropping it. Because the mechanism wasn't working, we started placing the sand manually, and I tore down the machine. Then we ran into another problem. There were skulk sensors and shriekers right in our pathway. We needed to break the shriekers without spawning the Warden, which would prove to be nearly impossible. Our first idea was we get fire resistance potions, drink them, and just swim for it. Noah would break the close one, and I would break the far one. So we jumped in, and wouldn't you know it, the first thing that happened, we set off the skulk sensor. Now I figured since we technically had a few attempts, I would just go for it anyway and see what happens. So I got to the shrieker and I broke it, and I thought that was the end of it.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
So yeah, that definitely wasn't the end of it. So I was standing there contemplating my life choices, and considering I didn't have any firework rockets in my hotbar, I couldn't fly away either. So as you can imagine, the inevitable happened. I mean, the lava didn't hurt me because I had fire resistance, but the Warden sure did. At this point, I reversed time. That's right, I made a time machine and I reversed time. And now we went for it again. Same strategy, I don't know why. It didn't work the first time, I'm not sure why it would work again. But hey, we tried it. And yes, the Warden did spawn again. This time, we just had enough time to get away because he was running in the lava. I started building up frantically because the Warden was running at me. But apparently it wasn't fast enough because I almost got away with only 2 hearts. At this point, we knew we'd need a strategy that didn't involve spawning the Warden. So I went and gathered some wool. Although this was a good strategy, there were a few failed attempts and we had to reverse time a few more times. But then we broke both shriekers at once, and guess what? It worked. They screamed, but there was no one for them to scream to. This time the Warden didn't spawn and we could actually continue building the tunnel. So we finished filling all the lava in with sand. By the way, the reason we used wool is because it's the only block in the game that doesn't make any noise when you place it or walk on it. After we filled in the lava lake, we dug it out in the middle, and this is what it looked like. After that, we capped it with blocks. Now, this certainly wasn't the last time we ran into lava, but it was definitely the last time we hit a lava ocean. Although it can be very annoying, we got through it. It took us 3 IRL days, but we finally got to the island. At the end, I cleared out a little area and then dug up directly into the cabin. Then I dug 2 elevator shafts. And when the ice tunnel was all the way finished with the ice placed, this is what it looked like. And we have our shafts right here. Up in the cabin, I filled everything in and replaced the floor. Then it was time to go get some kelp for the soul sand elevator. Although drowns were attacking me while I was doing it, I got the kelp and built the elevator. Then I saw this dog outside, which reminded me in the last video I promised I would get back to it. So here I am, getting back to it. This is now my little puppy and he's sitting in the corner in the cabin. Next up, I had to build a boat dock because we were by the ocean. I was using spruce for this project, although there was no spruce trees nearby, so I would always have to bring wood from base. This is our boat dock, and this is our chest full of boats for the ice track. And now for a test of how fast this ice track really is. So what do you guys think? Was it worth it to build that track to get to my private island? Let me know down below.